going on, everybody? This is Sean of Raw Select Music. Today I want to talk about this record right here. This is Salt's Hung Up, released on this label right here in 1972. This was one of my most sought after funk and soul 7 inches for the longest time. After hearing DJ Shadow Cut Chemist and name it in the rehearsal footage for the Brain Freeze DVD, it was just a record that always stuck out in my mind because of the heavy drums and the loose feel. And it was just a record that I knew that I had to add to my collection. Years later, I was able to pick it up, as you can see, through the New Orleans Funk 7-inch box set that came out in 2015. And it's been one of my most treasured funk 7 inches since I've added it to my collection. What is it about this record that stands out and makes it so special? Well, that's what I want to talk about today. So with that little introduction out of the way, let's talk about this guy. So first off, a little bit of background about this record. It was originally released on this label in 1972, and as far as I can tell, the label is based out of Louisiana, and they have releases dating back to the late 1950s. And that's about it. Really, there isn't any information about anything surrounding this release or the label. Doing a little bit of digging on Discogs, I did find out that there were a few other releases on this label, but other than that, where the label is based, any information about the band, producers, there is literally no information to go on. But although I couldn't find any information about the band, the label, or anything else surrounding this release, I did manage to dig up a story about someone who might be responsible for introducing this record to the wider public. According to a couple of websites that I found, like Flea Market Funk and Pops Like, the founder of the German funk group, the Poets of Rhythm, whose name I'm going to put here, because there's no way in hell that I'm going to be able to pronounce that, on a digging trip to Louisiana in the 1990s, he stumbled into a record store that actually had a whole box of this record right here. But being a teenager at the time, he wasn't able to pick up more than 5 copies, and that was all that he was able to bring. Still, he managed to bring those 5 copies back to Germany, gave them to some friends and some bandmates, and I guess from there it managed to gain something of a reputation. Unfortunately for the founder of the Poets of Rhythm, the owner of the record store where he had found this record had thrown that box of records away, stating that he was trying to save space in his store and didn't need so many copies of the same record. But where did that box of records go? Nobody knows, but what can be guessed is that this record was pressed in extremely limited copies, and that's probably why an original pressing of this record goes for about $2,000 today. But eventually it must have made its way into the hands of DJ Shadow and Cut Chemist, because it was a featured moment in their Brain Freeze live set and DJ mix. And it was definitely a highlight moment for me, because as soon as I heard it in the rehearsal footage, it got stuck in my subconscious, and it became a record that I was looking for the longest time. And all I could think was Salt is a name that I would have to keep an eye out on future record digs. Flash forward to 2016, I'm digging at Tower Records in Shibuya, mostly just killing time, but I also kind of wanted to see what they had at the store. And while I was there, I stumbled across this box set right here, Soul Jazz Records Presents New Orleans Funk. While looking at the track list on the back, I saw the name Salt, and immediately alarm bells started going off, because I thought this might just be the track that I've been looking for. I checked it on my phone, and sure enough, it was exactly the record that I was looking for. But me being short on funds myself, had to put the box set down, even though I desperately wanted, but I waited until my next paycheck. Shortly after that, picked it up, and it has become one of my all-time favorite funk and soul 7 inches. To me, this record represents everything that I look for in a funk and soul record. Hard-hitting drums, a sort of drunken looseness, especially a kind of looseness that is usually associated with a lot of New Orleans music. But on top of that, it has this razor-sharp guitar line that almost breaches into sort of psychedelic territory, and has these great little organ blasts that are also punctuated with these beautiful little horn lines that make up the rest of the track. And kind of similarly to the Dudacha track that I talked about before, there's these cool little stop gaps that punctuate the end of the section of a song before it jumps right back in and starts all over again. And it's just one of those tracks that you could play from beginning to end, and it never loses any of its energy. And it's always a highlight every time that I play it out in a funk and soul DJ set. Now, if you're looking to pick up a copy of this, your best bet is to probably see if you can find the New Orleans Funk box set, the New Orleans box set from Soul Jazz. If you're not willing to pick up the box set, there should be a few copies of the individual 7-inch as well, as it was also released that way by Soul Jazz, I think a year later or so. But either way, this is essential funk music. This is easily one of my all-time favorite 7-inches. Definitely grab this record any way you can, because adding it to your funk and soul collection is absolutely essential and is easily one of my all-time favorite funk and soul 7-inches. So that's going to be it for me today, guys. Thanks as always for watching. If you've listened to this record, please let me know what you think of it down in the comments. If you want to hear this record for yourself, please head over to my Steemit or WordPress blogs, because that's where I post music links to any of the tracks that I talk about on this channel. And please make sure you head over to my Mixcloud, where you can check out Raw Select Radio. There you can hear me play records such as this one, as well as a whole host of the other records that I have in my collection that I don't get a chance to talk about on this channel. Links to everything, as always, down in the description. But that's going to be it for me today, guys. Thanks as always for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. So until then, peace out!